Hello, this presentation is about screens.
Screens are everywhere. They are almost omnipresent in today's society. Particularly in the global pandemic, screens are being used increasingly as mediums for socializing, working, and learning. However, the more commonplace they become, the more I find myself questioning their presence. I would like, for the duration of this lecture, to imagine that you are a person who has never seen a screen, and I'm trying to explain them to you without showing you what they are or using Google to help me. Screens are these things. They're made up of glass and circuit boards and pixels. I don't know what a pixel is, but I know it's a very small square. I think it might be a very small square of light. Within these screens, there are millions of pixels, and they all show part of an image, like a jigsaw. These images can change within the fraction of a second at the touch of a button. There are different sizes of screens, and they usually exist on pieces of metal, which are also different sizes. Some are foldable and placemat size, they're laptops, and others are like rectangular coasters, they're phones. Smartphones are different to the phones that you might be familiar with. Smartphones are pretty much all screen on one side, and that screen is touch sensitive. Most smartphones only have a few buttons because lots of the buttons appear on the screen. Most laptops and smartphones these days have small cameras on them. You can use the camera to take photographs that are then stored away on your device in an album, or you can take a video. You can even video call. Even though I use video calls a lot these days, it seems like a form of magic to me. I think people are generally video calling more right now because of COVID restrictions, meaning that they can't see many of their friends or go into work. It's really handy being able to do this, but at the same time, it's also really strange because sometimes when the internet connection is poor, the audio and video go out of sync, and the pixels start to move in a random order. Oh god, I don't know where to start with explaining what the internet is. I'll try, even though I really don't understand it myself. So on your screen, you can do various different things, and one of those things is go on the internet, which you can do with Wi-Fi, which is like invisible strings that connect your device, allowing you to go on the internet. I think that's why it's also sometimes called the web. The first page on the internet allows you to search for anything in the world, and whatever words you type in, the internet will find something for you. For example, if I searched, how tall is Beyonce? The internet would find this information for me. Or if I searched, where does Beyonce live? What is she doing tonight? And what time will she be out of the house? I could go and steal her platinum records while she's on the red carpet, which is basically the plot of the Bling Ring, but you can see there's no filter of information online. The power someone can have through the internet can be used for good or bad intentions. Anyway, the internet has got basically everything on it. It also has almost everyone on there too, in some form. Social medias are websites that you can go on and create a profile, a virtual version of yourself, and post things, like things, and follow other people. Lots of people do it, and it's free, although I remember someone saying that if the product's free, then you are the product, which I suppose is true because these websites are well known for stealing private information and distributing it to other companies. Social media is also designed to be quite addictive, so that you should look at your screen for longer. Let me tell you, looking at your screen for a long time is weird. Screen time feels different to real time, but not in a nice way. Not like when you escape into another world for a bit in the cinema and then return to reality. Spending time looking at a phone screen is much more jarring. There's a jolt when you look up from the screen and realise how much time has passed. Walking out of the cinema feels like waking up, whereas phone and laptop screens are more like daydreams, where your body stays in the same place but your mind goes into another dimension. There's something about the virtual that doesn't feel real, and this is why I find it even more confusing when I remember that the internet is real. I mean, in a literal sense, it has a location. It is both a thing and a place. I think Google got in trouble a while back for having a headquarters without people working there, so that they could avoid paying loads of tax. I don't remember what happened or whether they paid it back or not. But unlike Google, the places where technological components are assembled do actually have workers in them. Something I know a little bit about thanks to Ursula Biermann's video essay, Performing the Border. are the maquiladoras on the border between Juarez, Mexico, and El Paso, Texas. The maquiladoras are factories that produce high-tech equipment for the information industry. In the beginning, only women worked there, creating these technological components, barely getting anything in return, as the maquilas were laboratories for deregulation. The people that help to produce these advanced technologies do not share in the advancements that they bring. If anything, it becomes the source of their own fates. The danger of being involved in the robotic process of assembly work on the border is that the body becomes associated with these technological functions. The women themselves become, as Byman puts it, disposable, exchangeable, marketable components. The evidence for this is haunting, as over 120 women have been reported dead since 1993 in this borderland. I suppose we've got to the point where the takeaway of this exchange is that screens kill, which I don't want to be the message, but it's an unavoidable fact that in some senses they do. To wrap this up, and bringing you back to your own personas, I wonder whether if you were asked to explain screens and the internet, what would you say?